At his age.
Welcome to the Jets Afterburners podcast. New York Jets fan 16. Liam is on a little vacay, and we're going to have our backup host coming on in just a little bit here. What a complete disaster this New York Jets squad. No one in their right mind, I don't care how pessimistic, how negative of a Jet fan you might think you are, you did not peg them at 0-5 and staring at an 0-6 start to the Aaron Glenn era. No way in hell. I would have thought at least there would be a little bit more fight, but let's not kid ourselves here. The team has given up on Aaron Glenn. It sucks. It really does. It really, really hits home because as Jet fans, the old schoolers, we have not seen this in a very long time. Some new schoolers might be like, oh, well, Adam Gase, he started, 0-13. No, we knew heading into the Gase era, as soon as he got anointed as the head coach, that sooner or later he wasn't going to get a good grasp of an NFL team. And then all of a sudden, fast forward to this guy. This guy, we all want to root for him. But there's something missing here. For you football historians here, this reminds me a lot of Lou Holtz, the New York Jets hiring a very excellent X's and O's guy who, when he got fired by the Jets, he went on to coach the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for many, many years. And again, he's a Hall of Fame head coach. But in his only stint, 1 year with the New York Jets, the team didn't respect him. They didn't buy in. You know how you make a team buy in? You win. These past games that we've seen right now, the Jets are getting blown out. They're continuing to do boneheaded plays, self-inflicting wounds, Breece Hall, fumble. Again, last week, Aaron Glenn tried to wear a boxing glove and knocking out of the running backs. It's not working. It's not working. There's a tactic there that, unfortunately, it seems like it's the same mantra, the same mindset that we want to convince ourselves, no, we got to give them team. We got to give them some time. We got to give them some time. Bowles, same thing. We got to give them time. Salah, we got to give him some time. We have to just give him what he needs, that he needs his players. Aaron Glenn, you could see what's going on here. You don't need to be a football savant. The New York Jets, the team, right now in London, which all of us were going to be watching, we're going to be pulling for them, right? We want them to win. They're not beating the Broncos. They're not. 0-6. 0-6. Think about that. 0-6. The Jets could be the first NFL team at 0-7 freaking team. I don't want that. I don't want it. But in a long road scheme of things, if that's what it takes to turn this program around, if 0-17 is what it takes for the Jets to finally land a franchise quarterback. Guys, we don't have a franchise quarterback. We don't. Everybody trying to make an excuse for Justin Fields, look at that tape one more time. Garrett Wilson was running wild that game. Free. There was a touchdown. He overthrew him. Unfortunately, with Justin Fields, he's not there. He will never be there. He's not that guy, okay? He's your prototypical backup quarterback, wildcat, yak quarterback. That's it. Stop making excuses for the guy. I bought in. I was like, you know what? Maybe he could be our Geno Smith or Sam Darnold. Maybe he could be our Baker Mayfield. Maybe just all clicks. It's not clicking. It's not. Now, what do we look forward to as a Jet fan? The Denver Broncos. Denver's running hot. They're very well coached. Excellent. Then we come back home against the Carolina Panthers. And don't you dare pencil that thing in with a W. You better stop. Enough is enough with this. We have to stop being delusional as Jets fans and look at any team on there and be, oh, yeah, no, this, no. Oh, the Saints? Oh, yeah, of course. We're the only winless effing team in the NFL. Sick to my stomach, man. I've been through the Kotite years. Now, from the Kotite years to now, before this season, it never even dawned on me to utter the words Kotite. Not even in a million years. 97 Parcells, Groh, Mangini, Herman Edwards, Bowles, even Adam Gase. It didn't even cross my mind. Oh, Rich Kotite. 2018, 2019. Not even close. This here, I hate to say it, because Aaron Glenn is one of our own. And yes, I would like to give him time. But make no bones about it. If we end the season anywhere between 0-17 and 2-15, this head coach is not going to be here. This is a Gerard Mayo 2.0 cataclysmic catastrophe that even an owner like Woody Johnson would say that this is not working. This is not working at all. And stop it with all you fans saying, no way, he's not going to waste money. These are billionaires. No. You go to the grocery store, you spend $25. Maybe that $25 of vegetables rots in your refrigerator. Things happen, whatever. You don't think about it. Same thing with a billionaire, with Aaron Glenn. He wants to see results. He's not seeing it right now. And if by chance, let's play fantasy world here. If by chance the Baltimore Ravens continue to flop and they're out of playoff contention and they're vying for maybe a top 5 draft pick, John Harbaugh may be done at Baltimore. Maybe done. Just like Andy Reid overstayed at Philly. Now, I remember to the detail when Andy Reid got let go by the Eagles. Everybody said, that's it. He turned a putrid Philadelphia Eagles team into a powerhouse with Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick. Like, the list goes on, man. I remember the Eagles being horrendous. Ty Detmer, Bobby Hoying. But then Andy Reid came in, turned that program around, fizzled after I don't know how many years, 15 years, gone. The Chiefs saw something special, said, all right, there's a veteran head coach here who has brought that team, that franchise, to the big dance. Maybe we can catch lightning in a bottle. But not also do we need a head coach, we need a veteran GM. They coupled them with John Dorsey. The rest, as they say, is history. Now, will Woody pay for someone like John Harbaugh? I'm going to say yes. Because sooner or later, this has got to creep up on you and say, man, I got a really bad rap over the past 20 plus years of being a cheap owner of paying for a top head coach. Now you have the number one overall draft pick. Who do you get? Who do you get? There's a lot of quarterbacks out there. And before the season started, they're like, oh, yeah, no, this draft class is awesome. And now all of a sudden, the Jets have the sole number one pick. Now I'm hearing, oh, yeah, this quarterback class, it's ass. Stop. It's always like that. It's every time certain things fall our way, it's because of this. We beat a good team. Oh, it's because they were missing their starters. We beat a team that we're supposed to. Oh, they suck. Now, let's say if we're in the bunch of the top 7, but not number 1, man, the Jets just can't suck enough for the Jets to land that number 1, especially with this draft class of quarterbacks. Now, all of these quarterbacks, all of them, they suck. Oh, it's a weak draft class. I'm going to bring up Armand in just a little bit, and we're going to talk about weak quarterback classes. And he always brought up a great point with the Mahomes draft class. You had Deshaun Watson there. But the first quarterback that was drafted there was Armand Trubisky. Oh, can't hear you, man. I can't hear you, dude. It was Mitch Trubisky.
Can you hear me now?
Now we're talking. Whoa. All right. So I'm going to lower you down a little bit.
Okay.
Monster, you.
Better?
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna lower you down. So we can't say no, right, to this draft class. Is that correct or no? What if we have the number 1 overall draft pick, Armand? Would you be okay with that? At least we're gonna select our own quarterback.
Yes.
Right? Who would you get here? Because there's one name out there that everybody is saying he's like the next Joe Montana.
I know people are clamoring now for Mendoza.
Fernando
Fernando
Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Or Mateer from Oklahoma.
There's Mateer. There's
Mm-hmm.
Nussmeier.
Right.
There's Moore from Oregon.
Right.
I know people prior to the season were loving Snellers from South Carolina.
Yes.
It's too early to say that this draft class is going to stink, whether at the quarterback position or any position. I'll go back to the 2017 draft class.
Yes, sir.
Everybody said that was a weak quarterback class. And no offense, Trubisky's the bust. Watson for the Texans was a hit for the Texans. For the Browns, he's not a hit. But for the Texans, he was a hit. And Mahomes is Mahomes. Mahomes is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You look at the 2018 class, everybody's like, oh, that draft class is loaded. 5 quarterbacks went in the first round.
Right.
And Baker went number 1 overall to the Browns. Now for the Browns, he's not there. So for the Browns as an organization, he is a bust for them. Because he's no longer there. They got rid of him. 3rd overall was Sam Darnold for us, the Jets. Now for us, the Jets, we got rid of him. So for the organization as a Jets, it's a bust. Then we have Josh Allen. Successful, hit, a future Hall of Famer, All-Pro. Hopefully he gets a Super Bowl, in his career. He has to go up against Joe Burrow, Mahomes. And let's see, the 10th overall pick that year was Josh Rosen.
Look at that.
To Arizona, who's out of the league.
That's
the
right.
Cardinals, who had the first overall pick the next year, chose Kyler Murray over Josh Rosen. And then the last quarterback to go in the first round, the one that everybody said should go to wide receiver, who has proven everybody wrong.
Everybody.
32nd overall, Lamar Jackson. You had 2 out of the 5 quarterbacks in that class be successes, be hits, be all pros.
100%.
Allen and Lamar. Whereas the 2017 class for the Watson as a Texan and Mahomes, 2 out of 3 is more of a successful rate than 2 out of 5 for first round quarterbacks. You don't know. We all don't know. We all don't know year after year at any position, but especially the quarterback position.
See, Fernando Mendoza is my kind of prototypical quarterback. 6'5". Here, I'm going to just bring him up here. Hopefully, we don't get canceled. Here we go.
If
This
it's
is the
not on
guy.
Twitter, we shouldn't.
Six. No, he's 6'5", man. 22 years old. Gun of an arm. Gun. Great personality. And even before I even get to this, yeah, I wanted Dart, and that's where I think the Jets started blundering a lot. Number one, the way how they handled Aaron Rodgers, and I gotta raise my hand on this one. Right at first, I was like, "Oh, come on, man! Good. Show him, show that douchebag who's boss. You don't treat a Hall of Famer like that. You could have called him. You could have done Zoom. You could have been like, hey, look, we're going to go in a different direction. All right, that's one. Then the draft came. This is a new regime. You have a new GM, new coach. You know how you buy time? You buy time by drafting your quarterback. Dart was staring at us in the face. Now, I don't care that we signed Justin Fields. Where was the balls and the outlook of this new regime to say we have to go into a new direction with our guy? Our guy. Dart was right there for the picking. It just seems to me, Armand, that this regime doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Now, judging by the 0-5 start, judging by Steve Wilkes still being the defensive coordinator, still Michael Clemens on the team, they continue to make boneheaded mistakes. When is enough, Armand? Let me ask you a question. Did the team quit on Glenn, or do you think they're about to?
Quit on Glenn.
Honest question.
I think the quitting is a trait that goes back to last year with Salah and even Rodgers year one. Because when we lost Rodgers, even though the defense played well that year without Rodgers and having Zach Wilson there, I just think the defense and, it's just like they lost their confidence. They lost everything. I don't know if they quit on Glenn or they quit on Wilkes.
That's a good spin on it. That's a really good spin.
Because I don't know if you saw the quote from Quinnen today from London.
Mm-mm.
He said that we are 0-5 because of our defense.
Oof.
Like,
wow.
Quinnen said that. And that's that, we could criticize Quinnen for not being a double-digit sack guy, but he just showed some leadership by admitting, like, hey,
wow,
the defense as a whole, including himself, is a reason why they're 0-5.
That's a big one. I was scrolling on Twitter. I saw Victor Green that he posted, that Quinnen, what he said, showcased some sort of accountability. But I didn't know that he said that. Now, with this being said, we're going to bring on Luca. And I want to just ask something here, because you've been seeing this atrocity. It's disgusting. It really is. You watch the game and you know that the game is over by the second quarter. We all knew that the tide turned as soon as we were driving. Oh, we needed to go into the half. 10-10. Before you know it, they're up 23-3 or something like that. Like, they scored. They were running all over us with like less than 30 seconds. The defense said, F it. Like that. Like, here we go again. That mentality is very difficult to change. At this juncture, Luca, we're in London, home game against a very well-coached team. Do you see the defense fighting to save their defensive coordinator coach and to save face of Aaron Glenn? Or do you see kind of the same halftime, the score is 24 or 17-3?
I think it's going to be more of the same. And this might be like because I'm overall negative on the team as much as you are, Dan. I do want to push back on a few things real quick. I don't think this was the year to start drafting a quarterback, in my opinion, for the New York Jets. I know you're a big Dart guy. My brother obviously roots for the Giants. He's got Dart now. But I'll say this. I'll say this for the regime. They didn't want to put because, Dan, you talked about it. You said starting the clock. That's called buying time. But yes, you're buying time by drafting a quarterback, but you're also starting the clock. Like, if this guy isn't good in 2 years, like we talk about it every single week, guys. How we talk about how NFL teams are turning around their franchises in 1 to 2 years. Right. And if this team wasn't good by year 2, you could argue that they could be gone. Now, they're so disastrous that they could be gone by year 1. Could be, not will be. That's obviously a big thing. I don't think Rodgers was for this team. And I'm not saying, I'm not crapping on Rodgers, but I don't think a 41-year-old quarterback would have worked here. I know that's the ifs and buts, fallacy, predetermined outcome, whatever you want to say. I don't think it would have worked here. I think his time was done. It was unfortunate. I think the regime needs to get their guy. But here's the thing. Aaron Glenn talked about competitive year, win now season during the combine. Who did he pick as his quarterback? A reclamation project in Justin Fields. And people are telling me, I'm sitting here arguing with Play Like a Jet, and not arguing, debating, because they were saying, oh, give it time. Dan, how many times have we heard that over the past how many years? And I'm not saying that, once again, I've said this many times before. Glenn is not responsible for the past 14 years. He's only responsible for what he has this year. You could argue he set too high of a standard with how the Jets are playing. Like, he was like, he was talking all this big stuff. We're going to be, penalties, losing games, all these different things. And Eagle Fang brought up, I think he's in the chat. He tagged me in a tweet today, and it's like Aaron Glenn, and he basically said in July as an Eagle Fang, he's like, Aaron Glenn's defenses in Detroit were pretty undisciplined. And now came through with the Jets. Exactly. That's the unfortunate part. And we just keep going through this circle of complete ineptitude, incompetence, whatever you want to say. It's like, it's hard to have optimism. And I'll say this for the content creators, and obviously we all keep it real here, Jets Afterburners and Armand and everybody else. But like, even if you were an optimist, right, about Aaron Glenn, don't you have some sort of level of concern at this point? It's 5 weeks in. There's no improvement by player on offense or defense. There's no improvement on the unit offense or defense. And then the team's still undisciplined. Nobody's being held accountable. It's very select accountability. You'll see Aaron Glenn yelling at Arian Smith on the sideline, but when it's Michael Clemens or a veteran defensive player with like a pass interference or holding penalty, doesn't do anything. So right now, to me, Aaron Glenn is a fraud.
Favoritism.
It is favoritism. You're absolutely right, Armin. You're absolutely right. Right now, he's a fraud. Right now, to me, he looks in over his head. Right now, it looks like he bit a little more off than he could chew. And then, you know what? This job might not be for him. And here's the thing. There's also an alternative outcome where we could be all wrong. This could be like the team's improving at the end of the season. Next season, they look like the Lions or whatever. But you know what? I also want to say this. I am tired of hearing the Dan Campbell comparisons. Not even close. People like name dropping like, you can't use the Dan Quinn comparison because – this is going to take more than a year to turn around. But I'm also going to use that in the inverse and say, hey, you can't use Dan Campbell because this is an alternatively bad situation.
100%, man. And look, I'm going to bring this guy on here. Look, check this guy out. This is who, again, everybody remembers Rich Kotite. I get it. But this is the one, if you start really looking at the annals in time with the Jets, it's this guy, Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz is the one. The Jets were 3-10. They canned him after 1 year. You guys remember him, right? Yeah, he had the list.
I remember him more from college.
Yeah.
But
I
remember that he was a Jet head coach.
Yeah,
he won national title with the Notre Dame.
Right. Like his pep talks were like, nothing crazy. They put their pants on the same way we do. Something like that. Nothing crazy, but that he tried to bring that over to the Jets. Didn't work. He was a favorite as well. The worst. That's what I'm saying. Like, We brought this up weeks ago because we kind of started seeing the trend with Aaron Glenn to the point where he's way over his head, guys. I know that there's some of them that some fans they think he's going to come back next year. Oh, he's definitely coming back. Nothing's definitive. Nothing is definitive. They're 0-5. Damn it, man. What more do we need to see? One more time. What more time? What gives you? I'm going to ask both of you guys this question. And I want you guys to see it from an eternal optimistic perspective. What gives you hope of what you've seen these past 5 weeks that says, you know what? Aaron Glenn merits coming back in 2026. What needs to change, or what have you seen to say he's coming back? Armand, you go.
I'm going to say nothing. I'm going to say that I saw more fight from Salah's first year team where we had basically no talent. We had no talent like we have on this team right here. We had more fight, more competitiveness, hence why we won the one game against the Rams.
Yes.
And,
Right.
That team, I've been asking, does this Jets team beat the 2008 winless Detroit Lions? You know who their quarterbacks were on that roster for that 0-16 Lions team?
Orlovsky.
Culpepper.
Drew Henson. Michigan State, Drew Stanton. And the starting quarterback, even though he got benched, Dante Culpepper.
Wow.
Who's probably more at the back end of his career. But those were the 4 quarterbacks on that 0-16. Does this team beat that team? I think that Lions team might beat us.
So if we continue this way, right? In JetCast, this is what I was going to get into. It's going to happen. If we're going to do a full rebuild, and this is going to be an enormous indication on where Woody is kind of gearing towards. Because I don't think Woody is going to make up his mind at the end of the season. The Jets head into the bye week at 0-8. He may start listening to Rumorvilles and hear, oh, shoot, what if Harbaugh, the head coach of Baltimore, gets shaken loose? But now, is he going to give him the entire autonomy of saying, all right, you know what, you're going to build this from the ground up, just like you did with Baltimore or whatever the case is, even though he inherited Reed and Ray Lewis and whatnot. Fire sale. I see it. I don't know if anybody would trade for Quinnen Williams. I would hate to see him go. But if you're gonna end up 0-6, 0-17, that means the team sucks. Get what you can. Breece Hall, get yourself a 3rd, 4th rounder. Quinnen, what would you want for Quinnen at this point? What would you want? A second.
Second or third.
Second or third. Cool with me. I'm cool. Who else? Who else is on this team? Sauce? Is Sauce so untouchable? The guy is playing horrendous. He's one of the worst cornerbacks. He's being exposed. A team offers you a 3rd rounder for Sauce. You just made that team's economics that much easier because you already signed him to a long-term deal. The only player that is, to me, personally, and we could all agree, that is untouchable right now is Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson comes in, he plays his ass off, he doesn't pout, and he's earning his money. Not Sauce. Sauce isn't. He's not.
I agree.
Are there any other players that you see and you're like, all right, this guy could be traded? Anyone?
Sherwood, Michael Carter.
That's if anybody's willing to take that contract.
That's the other.
That's why you probably would take a lower pick. Like for Sherwood, you might let's just say a 4th or a 5th for him.
For sure. But I mean, I don't think there's anybody else. But I want to go back on Dan's point. He was talking about 0-5 and the possibility of Woody listening to outside rumors and all these different things. And Connor Hughes brought it up, and there was another content creator who I respect. I like. Sorry about that. If you guys heard that, whatever. But anyways, Connor Hughes mentioned it. Content creator mentioned it. I like the content creator. I met him in person. Nice guy. Dom. His first year as an Aaron Glenn, his first year being guaranteed should not be a reason not to fire him. Do not play the cheap game. Don't be like, oh, well, we can't fire him because his first year is guaranteed. Let's not play that game. You're not a serious franchise then. And I'm not saying I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn to be fired or anything like that. But let's call it what it is. If there is a situation at the end of the season where Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are right where they are, let's just say the Jets win 0 to 1 to 2, maybe even 3 games, and there's a John Harbaugh or a John Gruden or a Mike McCarthy sitting out there. I'm not a big fan of McCarthy. I'm not a big fan of Gruden. But you need an adult in the building who actually has built up a program before and who has instant credibility.
Right.
If Shanahan shakes free, which I don't think will happen, but if you see veteran coaches popping out, like Dan, you said Harbaugh, I'm definitely taking that chance. What do you have to lose at this point? You can't get any lower.
Luca, do you know how much pushback I got for saying, all right, you know what? At least next year, it's a hypothetical. I put again, Fernando, what's his name? The quarterback for Mendoza at number 1 overall, John Harbaugh, Wink Martindale. I had a freaking
I love Wink as DC.
Right, DC, and then OC, I think you put it down, Todd Monken.
Yeah, if he doesn't get a job at the end of this year, which I think he's mostly comfortable as an OC, I think he's old enough where I don't think he's going to accept the job. You could do OC, you're right. I did OC, Monken, DC, Wink, Martindale on your suggestion. Then you have Harbaugh as your head coach. That would be one hell. When was the last time the Jets had a coaching staff like that?
Right.
I don't know who will be special teams. I don't care who will be special teams, but the selling point to a coach like that, number 1 overall pick, you're picking the litter of quarterbacks. Let me say this right now. There's no consensus quarterback this year. It's not Nussmeier. Right. It's not Mateer. It's not Mendoza. It's not Dante Moore. It's your pick of the litter. It's basically like 2024, except everybody saw Caleb Williams as the number 1. So at the end of the day, you're looking like, okay, you get the pick of the litter at quarterback, and you also have cap space to spend. You have a fresh you have fresh cap space to spend. I don't trust this regime to spend it. So I'd rather have a guy like John Harbaugh say, hey, you know what?
Right.
I'm better at talent evaluation than these guys. I'm gonna mince through the roster. Now, there's probably a chance he keeps Brandon Stevens, but that doesn't matter. You look over everything. If Sauce needs to go, Sauce needs to go. If Quinnen needs to go, Quinnen needs to go. Dan, you said it. Besides Garrett Wilson, there's nobody that's not untouchable.
Nobody. Even Justin Fields. Again, this whole thing, we signed him. You got to keep him for next year. Out. These are auditions right now at 0-5 across the board. Listen, we're going to bring on 6 Rings. What's up, 6 Rings?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, but, the norm.
Oh, man. You know
the
what?
Norm.
I was reading stats, and you guys had a historically bad weekend. Do you know that in Jets
Wait,
history?
hold on, Jetcast. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. We have breaking news. I think we got actual footage of the whole Mark Sanchez thing. I think right here. I'm gonna. All right. You were saying 6 Rings?
Oh. So about your Aaron Glenn guy, I always say Aaron Glenn was always secondary to Mike Vrabel. I always tell you, they hate it when I say it to them.
Mm.
But I think he's 0-5, right?
Yes.
You know that is the worst start for a first-year coach in Jets history.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
And I don't think they're beating the Broncos. I think you guys are going to go 0-6. You guys are the first team in NFL history without a takeaway.
You're living on the edge, huh, tonight, aren't you?
At 0-5, you are the first team. You are giving up 31.4 points a game.
It's going to get better.
It is historically the worst defensive start in NFL history.
Yes, that's what we do. That's what we did.
But not even. You guys have a good team, but I don't.
I
And
love
then
Mark,
Mark
man. I love
Sanchez.
Mark. I love Mark Sanchez. But what he did was so stupid.
Yeah.
What a dummy. What are you doing?
Can I-
Why?
Yeah. Outside the Mark Sanchez subject, can I also add another thing? The content creator also mentioned the idea of trading Brees Hall. And he says, no, don't trade Brees Hall, which I would disagree. And the content creator was like, oh, well, you need Brees for your next quarterback. Disagree. If you're not going to pay Brees Hall, you trade him. You can draft a running back next year alongside Braylon Allen. And the Jets did malfeasance by Braylon Allen by having him return kicks. And
I don't think you'll get much for him. He's a running back. You can get them second round, third round. I don't think you'll get a lot for him.
That's better than getting nothing for him.
Now, this is where I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Not
If
this
you
guy.
trade him, don't you think you'll get a lot for him? And if you're rebuilding,
No, but you can't trade everybody. Like, I understand your logic,
Oh,
but
if I
there's
get
got to
2
be
first-round
some
picks for Garrett
cornerstones.
Wilson, I'm
Sauce,
accepting it.
Sauce was good, but now he's maybe a fourth. He's
What
not having
was
the
he?
greatest year.
Was he good? Like,
He was,
yeah. You
Was.
really think so?
And by the way, guys, this is my nickname. You guys can take it if you want. It's not Sauce Gardner. It's Soft Gardner.
Wow.
I'm saying it.
No
more
Well
He's
done.
not wrong.
Well
Soft Gardner.
done. Well played,
Soft
sir.
Gardner. I'm not defending him no more. I have his jersey back in New York at my old apartment. But there's a reason I didn't take down my jerseys this year. I'm like, show me something. But you know what? That's the nickname, everybody. Soft Gardner.
Wow. I love that one.
And now I see the Patriots and Drake May he's ascending now.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? 6 rings. Must I say, you have to thank the Jets for that because the Jets won a meaningless game against the New England Patriots January of 2024, and Robert Saleh had the gall to say that we got rid of the stench when we had that losing streak to the Patriots. Instead,
And you guys will win again. Because I know the Jets. What you historically do, you'll win 3 in a row now.
So
you win a game.
I'm going to push back on that. I think in years past, you're probably right, 6 rings. I think in years past, out of nowhere, the Jets would win one, like the whole Adam Gase against the Rams that we almost won against the Raiders. But I think this team right here at 0-6, and then to me, the cherry on top is if they lose against the Carolina Panthers. And again, I'm not saying that the Carolina Panthers are like trash compared to the Jets. They're way better, light years ahead, especially with
And then
the
and then you see
performance
the
on Sunday.
Patriots booties taking a step forward. Douglas is okay. Stephon Diggs, I don't know what he's on. He was on one.
Right.
6 rings. You're mentioning one of the principles of our point.
But you need a coach and a quarterback. Mike
Exactly.
Vrabel, Drake May. And now you can start putting pieces around him.
Exactly.
And I don't think Glenn's the guy with a brand new young quarterback. I don't think he's the guay.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But you're saying 6 rings that players are improving on your roster with the new coaching staff. You see what we're doing,
And Drake May.
Exactly, and your young quarterback. But here's the thing: obviously, we don't have a quarterback right now. I'm just saying it's not an excuse. That's the real thing. But there's nobody else on offense or defense that is really improving. Garrett Wilson's improving by himself. Let's call it what it is. The guy's a stud. He is the definition of the term. He is the symbol of the term quarterback. He's had Aaron Rodgers. He's had Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Mike White, Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. Name all the quarterbacks.
All of them.
The
All
dude's
of them.
going to put up
It's the
1,000
second coming
yards
of the
again,
Cleveland
probably.
Browns.
We've been through that too.
quarterback
Before we had who? We had Tom. We had Jeff. We had Scott. We had Hughes. It was a carousel before Drew Bledsoe.
Steve Grogan.
That was Steve Grogan. Then it was our carousel before Drew Bledsoe.
Tony Eason.
He was before Grogan. These guys all
No.
came before Drew Bledsoe. Those were 90 to 93. We went through like 6 quarterbacks.
Here, I'm going to show you something. You're going to like this six strings. You're going to love this. You want to see something?
Yeah.
You said that the Jets were going to win like a meaningless game.
Yeah.
Yeah, check this out. Pay attention.
I can't.
Oh my god.
The Jets are not going to win this year. They're not even going to win one game. Six rings. Have a good night, my man.
Good. See ya.
Hi, Elmo.
What's up, Elmo?
Almost in the house. Almost
Dan,
in
can
the
I
house.
just fight back on your thing? Just for fun. The game we'll win will be the last game of the season against Buffalo because Josh Allen and the starters are not playing.
Did you see what Trubisky did to us as soon as he walked in? There's no way. There's no way. Welcome aboard, Ephraim. I love the lighting.
Isn't it? I took it down a little bit.
I like
By
it.
the way, goodbye, Phillies. They just got
Phillies
eliminated
just
by
lost
the
to the
Dodgers.
bottom of the ninth.
Oh. Bye-bye,
Welcome
Phillies.
to Cancun with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Festivus.
Fans.
The rest of
Rest
us.
of us.
Ephraim, we've been down this road before too many times. I want to be optimistic, but they juiced me out, man. They juiced me out. It's too much Kotite. It's too much Lou Holtz. It's too much. I don't want to give up on Glenn, but I think the team did. Ephraim, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling when you watch a game like this where the game is just out of reach? And then at the end, all of a sudden, this team gets an epiphany and starts scoring meaningless points. Does it really showcase that they're fighting for their coach? I don't think so. What do you think, Ephraim?
No, I don't think they have enough talent on that team, believe it or not. I just don't think that. I think they're underachievers, basically. And that, and I think that a lot of it has to do with coaching. A lot of it has to do still no accountability. And I think they see that. And, we're still parading the same guys on the field every week and guys who make mistakes. Put in the guys you drafted. Put in the third rounder and in place of Stevens has been playing better, but why is it Tony Adams there?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
I know Barron in his certain snaps
Exactly.
hasn't played well, but I'd rather see him every down instead of Clemens.
What do you got to lose?
I agree.
Yeah.
He's a rookie.
And
Let him make
let's-
mistakes.
Yeah, and let's forget about these stupid stats, because if the Jets had won 2 of these 5 games, that would have been meaningless. Would be absolutely meaningless. Okay, you can say 100 different things when you're losing. If
It'll
you're
be
winning,
funny.
does it make a difference? You don't get the turnovers.
You know
You're
what'd be
winning.
funny? We lose, but we get a turnover. But it's not because of us. It's just because like the running back dropped the ball, fumbled it, and we were just lucky enough to
Anything
recover.
could happen.
Or it would be turnover on downs. It would be one of those things.
Yeah, that's considered turnover on downs.
We're
I
talking
looked
about
that
fumbles and interceptions.
Yeah, listen. I've watched this team long enough. I've seen this owner. He's not getting rid of him in the first year. That's my opinion. I just don't see them getting rid of him. Simple as that.
I have a question. Let's say it's the bye week and we're still winless. Is Steve Wilkes still the DC? Is he
Yes.
fired?
No.
Do you think
Yeah.
Woody fires him?
He's not
I
fired.
think he's still there.
Yep. There's so much loyalty with all of these head coaches, these first timers, because they've never been there. They never done it. So that's why you have these head coaches that are so loyal. Todd Bowles with his defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, Adam Gase, same thing.
Does
Saleh.
he take over the defensive calling? That's a different story.
Yeah, but why would you want that stench in there? Like, if you already know that the team is not playing hard for that defensive coordinator, just cut ties and showcase.
They last year was with Saleh was unusual because he doesn't like to. He usually fires them at the end of the year because he's not getting his money's worth.
But that's- I
I'm
hate to
with Vinny
interject.
on this.
I hate to interject after, but you know what? That's a problem. Me and Vinny were talking about on my Monday therapy session. It's the lack of foresight. It's the lack of foresight with Woody Johnson. Like if, and let's just say it's bad enough where Aaron Glenn's firing is warranted. And not again, I've said many times,
I know.
let's just say next year they barely make any progress, and then they fire him, or then they fire him the year after where the team shows no progress. Like it's the Jets are always late on this stuff. They should, and I know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, all these different things. I said it after 22 when they lost 6 games in a row, and I said it after 23 when they had that whole disaster with Zach Wilson. The team was lifeless at the end of the season. I said they should have fired Salah. They stupidly fired him in season and caused the whole downfall. And I'm not saying Salah wasn't a problem. It was just the timing once again. That's the Jets' issue, timing.
So when the Detroit Lions went 0-16,
what's going to change?
They fired the coach, right? When the Detroit Lions went 0-16, did they fire the coach? Do we remember that back far?
You're talking about Rod Marinelli?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they hired him for. They fired him for Schwartz, Jim Schwartz.
Right, yeah. and then the only team that I remember going winless was Hugh
Jackson with the Cleveland Browns. Yes. He was kept after that 0-16 season. Remember, he beat Todd Bowles with Baker Mayfield. And then he was fired mid-season, and the Browns were like this close to making the playoffs with Greg Williams. But
right. So what does it prove? Like when you see a head coach that they go winless, why would you bring that same coach back? Like it's never happened. Remember, it's never happened in Woody's tenure ever that he was embarrassed. Oh, again, I think I say 0-17 because it's tangible. I'm not just making that shit up saying, this team is so bad.
I agree.
Horrendous. This is not a football team. Afram, you could choose whatever Division III college. They will have more heart, more pride on the field. I'm not going to say that they would win, but you look at this show and people pay money to go see these sons of bitches. We go in traffic. We go to MetLife. We do a tailgate. And then you're watching this team and saying, I waited all off season for this. This is not what we expect. You talked a big game, Coach Glenn, and no one is buying in. That's why I'm thinking, and I get it. You guys bring up great points. Johnson has never, ever done something like this. One and done, ever. But I think if it's 0-17 and he sees that everyone checked out, no one's buying in, and there's a viable option out there where now he has to swallow the bullet. He's never done it before. But again, he never fired a coach in season like last year. That's why I would think that he would have his Leon Hess moment and say, all right, you know what? I'm going to just throw everything I can at this head coach that has done it, been there, done that, and maybe get John Dorsey. Would John Dorsey still become a GM in this league, or is he completely retired?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure he's an advisor with the Lions, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Senior personnel executive with the Lions.
Oh, my God. That's what I'm saying. So he's still hands-on.
Is Muji going too?
You have to.
You fire him mid-year, let's say, or you fire him at who's coming?
Who's coming? That's a great question, because if you fire whoever mid-year, you can't answer that question until after the year is over and you have candidates, hopefully viable candidates. And we know that the Jets would have to way overspend.
And there's your problem.
Yes, for now.
No, not for now. There's your problem.
For now.
That's always.
Since
he's had multiple opportunities to grab a good coach, and he did not.
And I'll say this for the record to add on to Afram's point. Like I'm a part of that where I think money, and then it's a hypothetical because money for a possible first overall pick and cap space would attract a coach. Obviously, it is also a big disaster to clean up. But with that, I think that it was on New York Post Sports. I mentioned this on Monday. I think Woody Johnson is paid the most for a coach in Aaron Glenn, which is so hypocritical and so wrong in so many facets. That you didn't chase Harbaugh. You didn't go after Peyton and say, hey, here's a blank check. You
Right.
chose a first. Let's say this for the record, folks. He chose a first-time head coach. I don't give a damn that he played for the Jets. First of all, let me say that for the record. Yes, he played for the Jets when I wasn't around. I get that. Blah 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 blah. You not only paid Aaron Glenn, let's just say I think the figure's like $9 million a year, which is the most, which is the most that Woody Johnson's ever paid for head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
The hierarchy's also screwed up, guys, because Aaron Glenn had his choice in general manager. This is the reverse hierarchy, the same stuff that we've been going over the past couple of years, many years. You in 2012, you had Tannenbaum being fired, and they kept Rex. What did they do? They went out to Corn and Ferry, and they looked at John Idzik and said, hey, you're the next general manager, despite having absolutely nothing to do with the Seahawks or the Bucs' success. 2014, they fire Idzik, they fire Rex. 2015, they go to a firm. They talk to Ron Wolf. They talk to Charlie Casserly. They say, hey, you know what? Hire this guy, Mike McCagnon, off of Charlie Casserly's suggestion. Okay, McCagnon, you're our GM, but you're not going to hire the head coach. We're going to hire someone to work with you. Arranged marriage. Let's go to 2019. They fire Bowles. They keep McCagnon. Stupidly, Chris Johnson listens to the advice of Adam Gase. Peyton Manning. They hire Adam Gase. There's a power struggle. What happens? McCagnon's fired. Once again, arranged marriage. Gase gets to pick his general manager and Joe Douglas. It is a circle of incompetence. Why is a rookie head coach picking out a rookie general manager who's supposed to serve above him in a natural hierarchy? That's like the store manager hiring the owner of a corporation. It really makes no sense. It really makes no sense. I don't give a damn the guy was a Jet. It really makes no sense. It just breeds one of the biggest problems in this organization. Afram talked about the money aspect and not paying for a real head coach, and also not knowing football or having somebody who knows football, and also as well the stupid hierarchy. We continue to do the circle over and over and over again.
And not only that, you went through this whole exercise.
The 33rd team.
Right?
Oh my God!
And so now you're going to change everything. You went through this whole thing showing that look how we're doing this, the right way, and then you're going to fire the coach after the first year?
Wouldn't even, hypothetically, my question,
yes.
the guys like Gruden, possibly Harbaugh, who hasn't won a Super Bowl in 13 years.
Right.
Right? All those guys that we bring up, like the namesake head coaches, they're going to look at this and be like, are we going to get full power? Like, Woody could fire them after 2 years. If they don't see if there's no, change. Like, you don't see the progress with them.
But it's not going to tarnish their legacy. That's the thing. Like, the same thing with Andy Reid when he left
But they're not
Philly.
going to come back for, just to be fired.
No, but that's not the plan. Obviously, you don't hire to fire. But with that being said, at least you have someone that's established.
Can
like when
I ask you something about Gruden? What's the franchise quarterback he's developed?
None.
That's one of my biggest questions with him.
None whatsoever.
As much as I don't like McCarthy, kind of developed Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. He did. Why not have him as offensive coordinator?
He's not taking an OC job.
He's not.
He ain't coming here. They dropped him for Gase.
I agree.
I think there's a better chance that Woody would hire an offensive-minded head coach with zero experience than hiring and paying a Gruden, a McCarthy, a Harbaugh. There's a better chance for that.
I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back a little bit, and I hear what you're saying. You're right. You bring up a good point, but for him to take a drastic measure and fire a first-time head coach in his first year, that would mean that he would want to at least change that kind of legacy where he's like, all right, you know what? There's someone out there. And again, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. They're like, oh, yeah, you have to follow the Rooney rule and all this, just like the Pats did last year. Everybody knew that they were just going through the formalities and whatnot. They were going to hire Vrabel 100%. They knew it. They had a deal done.
Exactly. That whole thing that we missed out. But they played us.
Yes,
Vrabel played us just
100%.
To raise the money that he was going to get from
right. And Afram, I think that happens more times than we actually know all the time. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if Woody does something like that, right, where he, again, this is me I hate seeing people lose their jobs. All right, I'm going to be straight up. I would hate Aaron Glenn to lose his job because I have high expectations, and I'm going to be honest. I hope they win. I hope they win on
Yeah, I
Sunday.
do too.
1-5, beat Carolina 2-5. Holy smokes! Then we could start fantasizing of the 2002 New York Jets. We started 2-5. We won the freaking AFC East. But again, this is so far fetched, beyond that. That's never going to happen. No way.
The only way I feel that he might get fired the first year is that someone goes into Woody's ear and he hears a rumor or someone reaches out to him that you'll get this coach because he'll get his chance to pick his own quarterback.
You nailed it.
All right.
Welcome to
And
the dark side.
start that way. But it would have to be a guy who
You
can
nailed
develop
it.
a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. 100%.
You're talking about what are the chances?
Right.
Who's that guy? Who's
Yes,
this guy?
we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know, and you brought up a great point.
Yeah.
These are the things, these are the whispers that we have no idea what happens, again, in certain inner circles that we have absolutely no clue. But I hope it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah.
I really do.
Let's not anoint these quarterbacks that we see on other teams as superstars already. Because let's go with Jackson Dart. He's in a very bad situation right now because he lost to the Saints. He'll probably lose to the Eagles. And what's going to happen, the poor guy, his coach is going to get fired when the losing season. And he's got to rely on the next coach who takes over that's going to want him as their starting quarterback.
Right.
That's bad for him, you know? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Afram. I was going to add on. That's also what I just talked about with Woody. That's also a lack of foresight on John Mara because they could have fired this staff last year when they were, 3-14. They lost how many home games in a row and all these different things. They could have fired. I know, could have, would have, should have. My brother was like, fire them last year. Fire both the GM and coach last year. That's lack of foresight.
And that's Mara not wanting to get rid of. Just keep the cycle of changing coaches because he's never had that before. He usually has a coach for a long period of time.
Exactly. And the problem is now you let this staff get their quarterback to which, okay, if all things, go right or whatever, you ideally don't want to, as Afram said, you don't want to put him in another system in his second year. So you would want him to stay with the quarterback ideally for another year or two. But the problem is, obviously that's how competent organizations run. The Giants aren't exactly competent. So once again, lack of foresight. This could have been all preventable. They didn't have to be brought back this year. But
with that being said, right, watching the Giant game right now, glimpses, they look light years ahead of the New York Jets. Light years. Like right now, what I'm watching, and there's so many teams, even the Carolina freaking Panthers who we're going to face next week, they all look competent. All of these, the New Orleans Saints, no quarterback. Spencer Rattler, the guy that I wanted as well. Remember, Armand? You still owe me dinner. And you have that. Then you have these other, the Jaguars, how they won. Trevor Lawrence freaking falls down, gets up, makes dinner for like the king and queen, and then stumbles into the winning touchdown. Like, wow, what is that? That's hard. That's all right. You know what? I
also bad defense too. So that's
bad defense, but still.
But I'm saying that's you rely. You're playing the team. You take advantage of their weakness.
The Jets can't take advantage of anything. Like they can't. There's no takeaway.
Dan,
that is ridiculous.
You're absolutely right. Remember, 4 offensive linemen out for the Cowboys. Not only that, CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, 32nd ranked defense. The 32nd ranked passing defense. The Cowboys were, should I say, heading into last week versus the Jets.
I'm telling you, you know what?
3 offensive linemen versus the Bucs were out. 3 Bucs offensive linemen out. Didn't matter.
All the players for the Cowboys, they could have easily said, you know what? We're not going to walk out of the tunnel. The Jets still would have lost that game on a safety, 2-0, easily. easily. The Jets continue to beat themselves over and over. They're just a stupid team. Let's be honest, a dumb, stupid
I just
team.
don't think that
Uncreative team.
they're coached well, or they just don't understand, which means they're
And
not comprehending what the scheme is.
And they're
And that's it.
uncreative. Like, let's look at the offense.
Yo, you nailed
the
it.
Seattle-San Francisco game from Thursday Night Football.
Yo,
The Seahawks had to play. Darnold was in shotgun or pistol.
yes.
To his left, they had a three stack. One of the weapons outside wasn't a receiver. It was Kenneth Walker, and it was a screen pass. How come we don't see a three stack with Brees, Garrett, and Josh Reynolds on the outside and throw a screen pass to Brees? Like, they're so uncreative. They don't even.
I'm at the
roll out
point where I
Fields
think they
to
don't
the
have
right.
confidence in this kid, and they're just trying to make it as easy as possible. But if you don't have the confidence of the kid,
Yeah, why
bring in Taylor.
After I completely agree, but I guess they're maybe trying to prove their investment right. $20 million a year, and
They're afraid. And Fields is afraid. They're both afraid to. He's afraid to throw the ball deep. They're afraid to call a deep pass, a deep play.
Let him throw a first play. Just throw it deep.
I agree.
It's a punt.
I agree.
I don't get it. It's just it's frustrating. Armand, you bring up a great point. Creativity. Where's the misdirection? You just came from a program in Detroit with Ben Johnson. Like, you watch that game, you don't even – the defense is like, shoot, what are they going to pull out of their bag of tricks? We have the cereal tricks here, and it's garbage. It sucks. It's like the worst. Week 1 really fooled us, didn't it? Week 1, we were like, wow, this offensive coordinator really has it. I like everything that
he was getting rid of the ball fast every week.
Quick, fast.
I don't know what's changed, unless he's afraid from game 2, because they were just blitzing the shit out of us, or just getting by.
Right.
They don't throw a screen. They're coming after you. Throw a freaking screen.
There's no screens. None. No screens. Ephraim.
They
none.
take forever. They try. A lot of times he's just floating it there, and by the time the ball gets them, the 4 guys are already behind the blockers.
What was it this past Sunday? He tried to throw a screen. He threw it at the guy's face, and it hit that thing that was on the camera on the string.
The sky cam.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me. The Jets can't even do that right.
I remember, Dan, the Giant game when Fields missed two bad throws. I get text messages from Dan. You were right about Fields.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
But I'm just, for the record, the Jets staff took a risk. They knew who Fields was. This wasn't a mystery.
Right.
And they were, as I mentioned before the season, they were trying to recalibrate him. They were trying to, it was a whole reclamation project. They were trying
It's a project.
It was a project. You're absolutely right. And it was a bunch of coaches. Engstrand, Turner, obviously the pass game coordinator. I don't know what the hell he does. I know he's, seen talent before, but he's not that great. Let's call it what it is. And then you had Charles London, who's never developed a quarterback or hasn't done a good job. So
freaking running backs coach.
Yeah.
Running backs coach, yeah.
He's a running backs coach with the quarterback nomenclature. The what?
Now let's call it what it is. Fields and a lot of the quarterbacks on the free agent market were reclamation projects, and I remember
That's all you had to pick from.
I argued back to sign Trey Lance because we didn't. There's not enough of evidence of Trey Lance on the field because outside of his injuries. But we've seen more plays. There's more video of Fields' performance on the field than there is Lance. And I said, and Lance was not going to cost you $30 million guaranteed, and it wasn't going to guarantee. You didn't have to guarantee him the starting job. And
we can get him next year.
Said, you could have drafted a quarterback, whether that's Dart or maybe it's a day 3 quarterback, Will Howard. Like it or not, Shador. Like it or not. Because remember, Tyrod was out of camp. You could have had Trey Lance and one of the rookie quarterbacks, whoever it was, compete for the starting quarterback job.
Yes.
Who competed this year?
Nobody.
Nobody, because they gave him
All
the
right.
starting job.
So now you bring in Trey Lance or and Fields. Who brings in more? Who sells more tickets?
The one that wins
Neither
games.
sell more tickets.
The
Huh?
one that wins games.
No. Prior to the season,
Fields.
which name?
For me,
Which name?
neither.
Which name brings in more tickets?
Fields
And
at the beginning. But then we start winning. It's
if
different.
if you say Trey Lance is our starting quarterback, what's everyone's mind? This is ridiculous.
I'm going to throw up again.
Now, when we bring in Fields, he's one of the best running quarterbacks out there. Ooh, we're gonna have a great year. He's gonna run for 1,000 yards, this and that.
Please, I would rather had
Perception.
I would have rather had Jameis Winston.
I do too.
So
At least
same
he would have
here.
thrown it downfield.
Yes.
Yo,
And he would have audibled.
I could live with. Listen, I would live with the interceptions if I know I'm getting touchdowns.
Absolutely.
We would take a
We would have bitched
30
and moaned about it, but at least we would have been throwing balls.
Better than this.
You know?
Absolutely. Listen, guys, I want to thank all of you. I'm going to be wrapping this up. Ephraim, Armand, Luca, thank you so much for hopping on. To the chat, thank you so much. All the new subscribers. Again, we're about to hit 2,100. Thank you, everyone, for this. Thank you, my man. And let's go, Jets. It's going to be an early bird special on Sunday.
You have the afternoon for yourself, by the way. So.
We have the afternoon to ourselves. Let's go, Jets, everybody. Have a great one. Later.
Be good, guys.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field.